So, does anybody want to reiterate for the chat the storyline of the game so far?
I wouldn't know much about it.
What about you? Could you do that for us?
Picked up a sword.
You mean talk?
Yeah, talk. Yes, exactly what I mean. No, I'm not doing it. I'm playing the game.
Well, first we started off.
Okay, no, tell them like the storyline, like what this is about and all that.
Okay.
I picked up another mushroom, okay. How many do I have now?
A lot.
Guess you just have one.
The story so far is Zelda got kidnapped. Okay, I really don't know the storyline. Don't force me to do that.
Since these guys have ADD, I will explain the storyline.
No, I'm
So-
not good at public speaking.
Game starts off with Zelda getting kidnapped yet again, and Link's uncle goes to save her. He of course breaks his hip after falling into a pit, and so it's up to Link, like usual, to save the day. So Link goes and takes his sword from his uncle and doesn't give him any medical attention. And then he decides, hey, I will go ahead and save the princess myself. I'm going to take the sword, and I'm going to kill some guards, even though I've never used a sword before. But I think I can do it. And Link did manage to do it, as he claimed he would. And he saved Zelda after killing some guy with a ball and chain. And so then after that point, he had to escape the castle. But no, Link couldn't come out the front door because, oh no, there's guards over there. We have to go through the secret passageway with rats instead, and snakes and sewers. So Link and Zelda traverse through that path. They make it out. Happens to be that some sacred church or something of that nature happened to be there for no reason, but it's there. And so Zelda decides, hey, I'm going to hang out at this church for a while, even though I have enemies that are out to get me. So Link's like, okay, that's cool. And then this guy at the church says to go see this old man in this village. So you go to see the old man in the village, and he's not actually there. Some other woman is there. And she says, oh, go talk to everybody in the village. And she wouldn't give you any kind of hints. So eventually Link finds this random kid next to the unmarked shop that's about the size of a shack. And the kid's like, oh, the old man's over here in this abandoned ruin area. So Link's like, alright, I guess I gotta travel half the map now to go to this abandoned ruin area so that I can talk to this old guy. So Link goes over there. He eventually gets to the old guy, and the old guy says, oh, you gotta have these 3 medallions. And then you can, get the Master Sword. Link didn't have any idea why he needed a Master Sword. He's already got one. But he's like, okay, whatever, I'm going to go ahead and get these medallions. So Link goes ahead and gets the first medallion from the abandoned ruins. Lo and behold, Link gets a powerful bow and arrow so that he can shoot enemies with his bow and arrow. And so Link defeats the boss there, which happens to be these 6 guys that jump around. They like to bounce, I don't know what to say, but they love bouncing. And so Link defeats him. He goes back and talks to the old man. That old man says, okay, you need to go to the desert now and talk to this other old guy. So here's some running shoes. Link wasn't sure what to do with the running shoes. He went to the desert initially and didn't find anything. So he went back into town. He happened to go to a library and he found a book up on top of the bookshelf. So Link's like, how do I get to this book? Then Link has an idea. He has running shoes now. So he ran towards the bookshelf and bonked his head over it, and the book fell down. Link picked up the book. Apparently the book was able to translate ancient tablets. So Link goes back to the desert. He finds an ancient tablet with a language that he could not understand. It looked like a bunch of phallic symbols. And then, so Link used the book to translate that. The book says to make any kind of wish you want and it be granted. Now, any normal person would be like, well, I wish to have a whole crap load of money, or I wish I could fly and have superpowers, or even, something as simple as I wish to be able to just go up to the end of the game and beat it and not have to worry about it. But no, Link's like, no, I think I just want you to spin these blocks around a bit just so I can go into the dungeon. So that's what Link wishes for, and he gets it. So Link goes into the dungeon. Happens that he runs out of bombs, and so he has to go back to town to buy bombs because nobody in the dungeon was dropping any bombs. But there was plenty of F-bombs dropped. Those did not help Link in his adventure. So eventually, Link went back to the desert after he got his bombs. He was able to clear the dungeon with flying colors, and he got the Power Glove. Link wasn't sure what he was going to do with the Nintendo Entertainment System accessory, but it seemed like he had super strength now whenever he wore this Power Glove. He is able to pick up little blue blocks that had the number 8 on them, as well as larger blue blocks. Link wasn't sure what was up with that, but he was able to progress a little bit. So he went to Zora's Waterfall. He was able to pick up the blue blocks that blocked the waterfall, even though any sane person can probably just, go over the blocks or go around them. No, Link had to pick them up to get around. He could have climbed a tree even to get around. No, he had to have that Power Glove to pick up those blocks. So anyways, he went, he had a whole bunch of money at this point. He had enough money he could probably retire. But instead he decided, hey, I am going to go ahead and buy these flippers for 500 rupees, talk about highway robbery. But he doesn't. He can swim now, and he finds all kinds of other stuff. And then he decides to continue his adventure to Death Mountain. So he goes to Death Mountain. He finds this old guy that's apparently related to one of these maidens that have been captured, which the game never even talks about at this point. But anyways, so the old guy heals you, and he gives you this magic mirror. This mirror allows you to change between the light world and the dark world. So Link eventually goes along his quest in the Magic Mountain. He finds a teleporter. He goes in the teleporter, and he turns into a giant pink rabbit. This scary-looking orange guy that has, teeth going up to his eye tells you that this dark world changes you into what you imagine to be. So apparently Link imagines himself to be a pink rabbit. But anyways, Link imagines to get into a temple, and he goes into that temple. He finds a moon pearl, which allows him to keep his original shape in the dark world, so he doesn't have to turn into a pink rabbit. Then he finds a worm. A really annoying-ass worm that's really easy to kill, but anytime the worm hits you or you bounce off the worm from, doing a spin attack, you fall down to the pit and have to start to fight over again. Anyways, Link was eventually able to defeat this worm, and he was able to get the last pendant. So he had all 3 pendants now, and now he's told he has to go to get the Master Sword. Link goes back to the forest that's really foggy, supposedly because the Master Sword's buried somewhere. And on his way, of course, he talks to some lumberjacks that happen to be his cousins, because his name is Buttkiss and his cousins were named Bumpkiss. But anyways, so Link eventually has some loot stolen by some random thief that's hanging out in the forest. He runs into another thief, which he hit with a fake sword, and ran off. Link was able to eventually find the Master Sword, which was surrounded by a pack of wild animals. Link picks up the Master Sword, the fog mysteriously disappears, and then the old guy that originally talked to Link through telepathy managed to talk to Link without the use of a Triforce. Now he was able to do it naturally. He says to go to the Sanctuary, and that's where we're at now. We have the priest from the Sanctuary here. He looks like he's been knocked out or murdered. We'll talk to him in a second to determine which that is. And Zelda is no longer here because she thought it was a good idea to hang out at this church. So hopefully you guys are caught up now.
Yeah. I waited for this so I can watch this.
You gotta admit, that was a pretty good explanation. You are a second too